Did you ever think about Kung Fu fighting?
Yes, I did. I did it myself, so to speak. Yeah, it's not like
no,
this.
No, not that type of Kung Fu fighting, but like
Actual
real,
fighting.
nowadays, full contact Kung Fu fighting. Previously known as Sanshou, now commonly known as Sanda. That's what you're looking for. Chinese kickboxing. No, not Junfan Jikundo. That's not what it was. Also sometimes referred to as Lei Tai. Now, Lei Tai specifically means like the promotion, or more so the actual elevated platform. Basically, it is a mixed rules, full contact kickboxing bout with some special rules. In a
Oh, wow. This year, maybe we see my former Sifu.
Lei Tai tournament, you're going to...
That's the World Traditional Martial Arts World Wushu Federation in Baltimore. This tournament here, where a lot of my former Sihings and Sifus fought already. That's so cool.
See different types of martial artists fight against each other. Whether their background is more Wing Chun, more Praying Mantis, more Shaolin, or more Muay Thai or Savat, or in our case, more Jeet Kune Do.
That video is gonna be interesting. Okay. I think we're at the right spot.
Let's talk a little bit about the rules of Lei Tai. First and foremost, it is a kickboxing-esque fight, meaning you're going to be punching and you're going to be kicking. Now,
throwing
locally,
around as well.
Our place didn't have the insurance for knees, so there were no knees. Also, when I competed back in 2016, there were no inside leg
knees.
kicks.
Okay,
is
that's
like a
maybe
huge part
different
of my
rule
game.
sets.
I was very upset. Didn't seem to matter too much this time as they were thrown, but I'm actually not 100% sure if they were legal or not. So let's just assume that inside leg kicks are illegal. And locally, there were no elbows and no knees. But you could kick as hard as you want.
Knees.
No shin guards, though. And you could punch as hard as you want, wearing MMA gloves. And you could pretty much hit any point of the body except the knees. If you hit the knees, it's a penalty, 1 point. Face and head hits were allowed as long as they were
not only knees, but attacks on joints.
Of the normal area of which you hit in most combat sports. But they had to wear like a helmet with a face mask. But an added benefit of this type of rule set is it allowed for takedowns. And not just your normal takedowns. You could do judo throws, you could do wrestling takedowns, you could do sweeps and stuff from the clinch, you could catch kicks and take them down. The way the points work is if you take them down and they pull you down with them, 1 point. If you take them down and disconnect and you stand above them as cool as you are and hopefully looked, 2 points. Any concussive or thunder.
And because it's Leitai, as he said, means the elevated surface. So it's kind of a stand your ground thing. And when you throw your opponent 3 times off the platform, that means you have stood your ground and your opponent lost. Then it's automatically a win for you.
Hit to the body or the head or the legs, that counted as 1 or 2 points depending. Again, penalties were given if it's like, you know...
Yeah, I fought in this kind of environment already,
you're not supposed
like
to hit, not
3 or
listening
4
to the
times.
coach, yada,
Not very
yada.
good, but
Kneeing when
I
you're not
did
supposed to knee. A couple more of the esoteric rules. Because it is a elevated or simulated elevated platform, if you exit that platform, you lose a point. Especially if you are exited. What is the transitive verb of being exited? If you are removed from the platform by your opponent, you lose a point. If you and your opponent both leave the platform, no points are awarded. But here's the tricky thing. After every time you leave the platform or are taken down, you have to return to the neutral starting point of the position on the platform. And then the ref will call go or not. He'll be counting in Chinese for you to return at the starting position. Last little esoteric thing is that at the end of each round, you must come up, bow, and then go to your respective corners. So there's a little bit more
I can show you that later.
in that regard. But again, it's supposed to be
Where
like this
I do
elevated
exactly this
platform thing, and it's Kung Fu. What do you expect? So as I stated, Lei Tai is the actual name of the platform, and Sanda or Sanshou is the actual like art of Chinese kickboxing. But it's not just limited to Chinese kickboxing, Kung Fu, Tai Chi, whatever. It also had us hybrid Jeet Kune Do, Savat Muay Thai people, plus like true Muay Thai people from the House of 8 Limbs. This is a local gym here. It was pretty much just House of 8 Limbs versus Metroliner Martial Arts. Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do? Ugh, I don't know if I'm Miyagi-Do enough. Maybe we're Eagle Fang? Enough pop culture references for people over 30. So what do the fights look like? Honestly, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's full speed. It's bam, 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 bam. It's crazy, man. It's kind of MMA just with a helmet. And without like much of ground fighting. Yeah, it's some wild shit, man. And because of the helmet, you don't see it like this. You see a lot of times in MMA, like they're careful, they're looking for chances to get in. You don't have to do this here with the helmet because one punch is probably not gonna knock you out. That's why it's smaller, bam, 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 bam. Much more speed. Yeah, this classical move here. Seen a lot of Kung Fu styles. Hunggar, as I do it, or a lot of other southern styles. Shaolin Hunggar, for example, also.
What do I think as a coach? Well, because it's a little bit different than other kickboxing venues and promotions, it is a little bit hard to specifically train for it. But I think it adds a valuable bit of experience, especially for some of my fighters that have only done point kickboxing or semi-contact. This is just one more step closer to full contact. I kind of like it as a intermediary step between semi-contact and true full contact kickboxing. Not to take anything away from Lei Tai or Sansho or Sanda, but it feels like an intermediary step, meaning like in semi-contact, you are very safe. The ref is very much so on your side as
shit, what happened to him?
Fighter in terms of protecting you. Full contact, it's a little more no holds barred. You suck, you get knocked out, that's on you, dude. Whereas in semi-contact, yeah, you're gonna be protected, you're not gonna be knocked out. This, you could totally be knocked out. You can get kicked very, very hard. Shin to bone, shin to face mask.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fun thing for people to try if they're interested in MMA. Because this is
it's no joke, man.
You have
really,
point
it's no
kickboxing
joke.
and you have jiu-jitsu tournaments, and they just kind of go on a certain path. You go from kickboxing, semi-contact, full contact, amateur, pro. And then jiu-jitsu, just do jiu-jitsu. And then you could maybe go to ADCC if you're 18 full steroids and, you know, actually good at the art. But this kind of gives your normal hobbyist a particular fork in the road, whether or not they want to go to MMA. Now they have experience being taken down in a wrestling or judo way. Now they have experience of kicking shin to body. And now if they want to go towards the kickboxing route, if they go amateur full contact, they're going to re-pad up a little bit. But it's still going to be, now you have that full contact experience. For me, when I did it back in 2016, 2017, I don't remember what year because it's been a long time, I had a ball doing it and I wanted to do it again. The problem is when you sometimes go to these smaller organizations, you just kind of like can get matched up not ideally. I know when I fought, I weighed 155 pounds.
Not matched up ideally. Let me tell you a story. Once in my Kung Fu school, in my former Kung Fu school, there was a woman who wanted to fight Lei Tai. It was like her first or second. I think her second fight it would have been, but they couldn't find any men, any woman that wanted to fight as well. So she was the only woman, and maybe 3 to 4 men. So she had to fight in the men's category. Huh? That's what happens then when she fought a man. Obviously she lost, but she was that brave to took the fight. Man, would you have done that? I don't know if I would have.
And my partner was 6'2". My opponent was 6'2", and he did not weigh 155 pounds. And at that point, I'd still pretty young in my coaching.
Yeah, for me the same. I fought a guy. I was 23, I think. And I fought a guy in a Lei Tai. He was like one head taller than me and 40 years old. That means he had a lot of experience and a lot of like this, almost like this old man strength. that you cannot get in short term. You get that over a long period of time, training, honing your skills. That's Kung Fu, right? And no chance, really no chance. I felt so clueless fighting him because I never had the experience of fighting a bigger person, because his arm length, arm reach, way bigger, foot reach, way bigger. What I should have done is going to the inside or to the infight, but man, I didn't have any ideas back then, right?
And fighting career as far as that's concerned, so I didn't do as well as I would hoped. Now that might be more that's hindsight talking and regret, so I'll move past that. But we did have Lunchbox, who was 240 pounds fighting somebody that weighed 200 pounds. Didn't really matter at this particular juncture, but that type of mismatch does matter the smaller you are. For example, if I, being 170 pounds currently, went up against a 200 pounder, they're going to be much bigger and stronger than me, and I don't know if I would necessarily agree to that. But considering how many people signed up, yes or no, it might not be a much choice for me if I want to fight. But that is the case at pretty much any locally run kickboxing tournament, whether it's, you know, IKF PKB, if it's this Lei Tai through CACMA, or if it's even a promotion like MMA. Sometimes they just don't have people for you to, you know, have a match against. Even more so in Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of times I will sign up, especially as a Masters 1 or Masters 2 brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, there's not a whole lot of us that will compete. So a lot of times I will have to fight aged down or aged up or sized up or sized down. Like, it's just if you want to match, you kind of have to concede certain things. But that's not really a knock at Lei Tai or CACMA. It just is what it is, depending on how many people sign up to fight.
That's not in the favor of martial arts in general, right? Because that's the problem of martial arts, not a specific sport.
So now you know what Lei Tai is. Tell me, are you gonna Kung Fu fight?
I did. Awesome video, yeah. Good explained. I want to show you something here. Where you see it. You see that in old movies. Or in old movies. You see that in Kung Fu movies. You just need to pay attention. So the story behind, let me just quickly tell you the story of Lei Tai. As I got told, Lei Tai was really full contact fighting, without protection, without anything. People that did martial arts back in China went to this specific place on the Lei Tai area, signed then a waiver that they wouldn't sue the other person for injuries or even death after the fight, and then bam, it was heads on. And you see this in, for example, Jet Li, Fearless, and also in other movies. Just quickly, here at the very beginning of the movie, you see this. Here, they're signing the death waiver. Yeah, exactly. One was the best fighter in his province, one was the other best fighter in his province. They searched around China, bam, clashed, and then they signed. And now what's interesting is here it's a little bit exaggerated. Here on the tower, you see they running up, or Jet Li's running up here, bam, bam, bam. That's for sure crazy, but what's interesting is, to me, that you see then the other guy is actually a Hunggar practitioner, so the style that I've been practicing. And you see this pretty clear. This one here, one finger hand, that's really Hunggar-like. And yeah, for sure that's exaggerated. I mean, it's elevated, it's Lei Tai. They want to stretch out the fact that if you fall off the platform, if you can't stand your ground, as we learned for in the beforehand video, you are going to lose. Here in this case, you are going to die. Sometimes they even manage to put on spears or weapon or sharp weapons outside of the cage of the Lei Tai area that you really had to stand. And yeah, if you haven't seen Fearless, then watch it. It's a cool movie. It's for sure a martial arts movie, exaggerated, but it's a cool one. So what do you think? Would you fight Lei Tai? Or do you even fight, bro? Do you even fight? What do you do? Let me know in the comments. Let's see you in the next one.